These all the topics we are going to cover clubbing of income. So see here, generally before clubbing of incomes, already we discussed in the income tax one, we have different source of income, that is income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, income from capital gains, income from other sources. Generally, when you earn your income individually, under your head only, you are going to pay the tax. So you are going to file the tax filing yourself. But what is the purpose of this clubbing of income and why we are taking this clubbing of income? So that is generally here, sometimes if you have any kids, any minor kids are there, minors are there in your family, when they are earning that income, that they are not able to pay the tax. They are not able to return the files because they are minors. Our income tax will not accept that. So behalf of that minor, our parents, they are going to be pay the tax. So already we discussed this as a deemed to be assessing. So this is the main purpose. These all the situations when the persons are not able to pay the taxes. Even the law when not going to be accept the payment of they are not the payment of the taxes, when they are not able to do the assessment procedure, behalf of the earned person, other person is going to be act as a assessee. So that time the minor's income or other person's income, we are going to clubbed with the main person's income. So that is the purpose we are going to discuss this clubbing of income. Is it clear? So here, this chapter objective is mainly they are providing, they are talking about the explain the clubbing of provision, what is the rules and regulations will come to the main, the purpose of the spouse from the spouse in case of spouse from the any salary, commission or remuneration, or discuss the provision relating to the income from asset transferred to the spouse or son's wife. Explain the clubbing of provision when the assets are transferred to the association of persons. Advise this all the situation how to we are going to filing that we are going to discuss. Here, coming to the introduction part. So here, the introduction part is when the income rates are progressive, in the sense the higher income, higher rates, and the total income of the arrived after allowing the all allowable deduction is broken into the slabs. So each successive slab is taxed at the increasing rate. For example, the tax income is assessed 5 lakhs. It is broken into 3 slabs. So up to 2,50,000 there is exempted, and 2,52,000, 5 lakhs 5%, and 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%. Respectively, we are going to tax that. So here, according to slab rates, according to income range, the tax rates are decided and the tax is going to be calculated. Now, transfer of income means what? Section 6 talks about the transfer of income. So transfer of income is what? You may be think the situation where the assessee retained the ownership of his house with him, but transfer the income of occurring the his relative A. So it means I will explain the simple example. For example, I have my brother that I have in a building. That building entire ownership I'm going to maintain, I'm going to organize. But for official purpose, that building I'm going to transfer to my brother. Without taking any consideration, I'm going to transfer. Here, the building only going to be transferred, but that entire building ownership is with me only. So in that case, it is not being transferred, but income is flowing therefrom transfer of specified relative. So hence, the income is which apparently goes to the his specified relative, and it will be taxed hand of assessee, not the relative. The transfer, the purpose of this section is included the settlement or trust or convent agreement. So these are the situation. Revocable transfer of asset. See, transfer of income talks about the section 6 and revocable transfer asset section talks about the 61. Revoke means what? Recall to call back. Recall or call back. Withdraw. So a transfer where the transferor keeps with him right to withdraw or callback transfer is known as a revocable transfer. For example, X transfers his house to his son. X transfer his house to his son. So this situation, what happened? X transfer his house, his son, but while transferring, he make it clear that he will be free to revoke the transfer of any time he likes. So means he is going to transfer, but he will take back again any time. This transfer is known as a revocable. So revocable transfer means what? So whenever to reduce his taxable income, his property is going to transfer to his relative or his related person. He is going to transfer to his relative person. Again, he is going to call back or he is going to withdraw his assets from his relatives. Where the asset transferred by the assessee, transfer is revocable transfer. Income from such asset is taxable under the hand of the transferor only. So this is the one case. Next one is what? Commission, salary, etc. of spouse, section 64, 1, subsection 2. Any payment by the way of salary, commission, fee, or any from the remuneration, whether in cash or kind, received by the spouse from a concern which is such as the individual has substantial interest will be added to total income of individual. However, this rule will not apply if the income is derived by the spouse from concern of account is or her technical or professional qualification. So this situation means what? I will explain that. If you see, there is a X. There is a see, there is a X. There is a X. Okay, there is a Y. X is the husband, Y is the wife. See, X running in a company. X paid some salary to Y. Y will not do any work. Because of X ownership, she is getting the job. So that time, any amount received by the Y, that income also going to be clubbed with the is X income only. But some situations, X is the owner, Y also, when Y is treated as the employee, this Y is going to use his skill, her skill, and she's getting the employment from the X company, even though they are a wife and husband also, but she got the job because of her professional and other skill based. So that time it is not going to be club. But in the name of X, when without seeing any qualification and any other rules and regulations, when he is paying any salary to Y, that time it is going to be clubbed with our husband's income. So that is the commission, salary, etc. of spouse income under section 64, 1, subsection 2. Next. Next case, income to the spouse from the asset transferred, section 64, 1. So here, section 64, 1, subsection 2 talks about the payment of salary, commission, or any remuneration. Section 64, subsection 1, class 4 talks about the transfer of asset. Means what? See, we are aware about many persons are transferred their own properties to their respective wives. Similarly, There may be case where the wife has transferred some asset to their husbands. Sometimes this transfers out of love and affection, while other cases transfer the prompt by the tax consideration. However, Income Tax Act does not differentiate between the two. For admission of law, transfer to spouse is a transfer whether with a view of reducing the tax liability. So again, I will explain one example. That is, again, I will explain with one example. There is a X is there, A is the husband, B is the wife. A have some properties on his name. So A, what is going to do is going to transfer to the B, because when A shows the properties all on his name, he is liable to pay the tax. To avoid the tax, he is A try to reduce the properties. So that purpose A transfer to the B. So that time his property reduced. So what happened? B's property will increase. So in this situation, in this case, automatically that A property is reduced, B property will increase. To avoiding of A tax payment by the A, he transfer the property to the B. So that situation also, income tax department will not accept that transfer legally. Whatever the cost is there, that entire cost is going to collected by that income is whatever that property income generating, even though on the name of B, but that is going to be clubbed with the A. So here, see here, any income occurring to the spouse from the asset other than house property transferred directly or indirectly by the individuals will be included as total income under the above section. If there is a transfer on account of sales, then income from the such assets should not be included in the income of the assessee. For example, husband X sells his debenture to his wife XW for consideration 2,50,000, which is the fair market value. In this case, the interest on debenture will be taxed in the hands of X and XY, XW only. Similarly, if the transfer of asset in view of agreement, live part income from the transferred asset will be taxed in the hands of transferee only. So this is the second case. Next, asset transfer to the son's wife. See, this all the section 64 talks about the transfer of assets. Income from asset transferred to a son's wife will be subject to matter the tax in the hands of the transferor. So this section will be applied only when the transfer has been made no consideration. Inadequate consideration or no consideration. When the assets are transferred adequate consideration, such clubbing will not be applied. See, here, previous example we discussed about the husband and wife. Here, what happened? Assessee will transfer the property is son's wife. So, how they are going to transfer these? Transfer also, there are two situations. What is the two situations? When the transfer the properties based when they considered some price. If the son's wife is paid considerable amount, fair market value, that time it is not going to be clubbed. When it is clubbed, when son's wife received the property without payment of that property cost or very less payment of property cost. So in that situation, that whatever the property cost is there, whatever the income generated by the property, it is going to clubbed with the transferred only. This is the one. Next, income of the minor child. This is very important. Sorry. Income of minor child. income of minor child, section 64 section 64 1A talks about the income of minor child. For example, see, there is a family A and B. A and B A and B have a children. The children name is C. The children is very talented. Is a singer or is going to perform some skits in some TV shows. Is going to act as a in movies. When he's worked as a child artist, he's going to receive the income. So on his income, he is not able to pay the income. He is not able to pay the tax to the government because he is a minor. In these situations, when the minor is generating the any income, behalf of minor parents is the liability to pay the tax. So this payment of tax also either it may be mother or either it may be father. So whoever income is more, either mother or father, they are going to pay the tax. So for the payment of tax of the minor child, even parent also get the exemption under section. They are going to get the exemption on minor child income. So they are going to get the exemption under section 10 subsection 32 1500 or income of the minor. So whatever the least amount is there, that amount they are going to get as a exemption. So now let us see that. Any income of minor child shall be clubbed the income of that parent whose other income is higher. Is the marriage of the parents as persist or income of that parent who maintains such minor child. In case of minor income, it is included income one of the parent. It is always be included in the parent income only and shall not be included the income of the other parent unless the assessing officer is satisfied that necessary to do that. But after giving opportunity of being here, however, income is minor, who is physically handicapped or mentally rented shall not be clubbed. So this is general minor case only, it is applicable. In case of handicapped or mentally retired candidates, it is not going to be clubbed. The provision of clubbing not applicable of any income of the minor, which occurs arise due to a manual work by the minor child and activity involved in the application of his specialized knowledge and experience. While clubbing income minor child with the income of parent exemption given either for 1500 or income of the minor, which is less under section 10 subsection 32. For the purpose of this section, child income is stepchild, adopted child, but does not included in the enlistment of child. See here, 2 points are again we need to discuss. That is, if the minor is working any manual work, if they generated any income, that is not going to be clubbed. Or any activity involving the application. For example, sometimes some minors, they are going to develop some softwares, applications, that all. So in that situation, what happened if they generating any income, that situation also yes. So any work is doing by the minor child, either it may be manual work, when the minor is developed any software, that time, if they generated any income, that is not going to club because based on is purely efficient skill based only this is generated. So remaining all the situations that income is going to clubbed with the minor's income with the parents. See here, some illustrations also there. Before that, again, we have one more topic, that is transfer of transfer of individual's property to the Hindu undivided family. So under section 64, subsection 2, transfer of individual's property to HUF. That time also, we are going to club the income that we are going to club the income, whatever the property generated, we are not going to consider of transfer. That income is individually we are going to taxable. So here, that situations, what is that? The individual shall be deemed to have transferred the property through the family to the members, family for being held by the jointly. The income derived from the converted property, any part of, therefore, shall be deemed to be arise the individual, not with the family. So this is very simple. Same, whatever that transfer of properties to the HUF, any without consideration, that is going to be considered as a individual asset, individual property, that is going to be charged under the individual purpose only. Okay. So here, one example problem also is given. See that first one, X an individual runs a business and owns the house property, which is let out the tenants. He transferred the property to his brother A. X submitted the following particulars: income from the business, income from the other sources, that is total 2 lakhs. And AO means assessment officer, hold that transfer revocable, and therefore income from the transferred property amounting 20,000 has been included his hand only. So that time the assessment completed by him as follows: income from business is determined by him 2,40,000, and income transferred property 20,000, and income from other sources 10,000. Totally 2,70,000. A notice demand for 10,000 was served as a X who closed to down business become untraceable. Explain the recovery of tax will be made. See, this situation actually X shows that income from business and income from other sources total 2 lakhs. But assessment officer shows that total income 2,70,000. So, and also a notice of demand for the 10,000 was served on X who closed down to business become untraceable. So explain the recovery of tax. So that time what we are going to do here? See, in this case, total 2,70,000 is the total tax. And rupees 1,030 rupees, therefore tax attribute the 20,000, that is income from house property, and 76 rupees, that is 20,000 of out of 2,70,000, that is 1,030 is the total taxable amount. So the assessment officer will ask to A, pay the amount. Is it clear? Because in this situation, whatever amount is there, 76 rupees, that is tax taken from the income from house property. Because that 20,000 is not included. Total tax, included in the total tax. So out of 2,70,000, for 20,000 income is how much? So 20 divided by 2,70,000, that is out total of tax 1,030. That is calculated for the entire amount, that is 2,70,000. So assessment officer will ask to pay the amount, that total tax of 2,70,000 rupees. And one more example also there. Sai Kumar gives you particulars different transactions affecting his assessment for the previous year 2018 and 19. December 2013, he had settlement income the respect of his share, since irrevocable from such shares accrued his sons amounted 35,000. Settlement was done a period of 10 years. See, the total property cost is 35,000. By the way of dividends accruing his sons taxable under Sai Kumar, he had retained the ownership of share with him. Settlement of 10 years, no avail of this case. So whatever the transfer of shares, even though after transferring of that shares, that ownership is enjoyed by the Sai Kumar only. So because of that, it is entitled to, is liable to pay the tax under Sai Kumar only. Second case, Sai Kumar settles marriage, his son S, his son S, with D on 10th July 2018, and son after gifted 50,000 to D would be daughter-in-law. The marriage was celebrated December 2018. Income from accruing to the D amount 10,000. See, in this case, what happened? Income of 10,000 accruing to the D taxable in her hands only, because the gift was done before she became a daughter-in-law. Yes. Huh? So here income 10,000 accruing to the taxable in the her hand only, because the gift was done before she became his daughter-in-law. So application section 64 subsection 1 class 4 is not taxable. See why it is not taxable? Because before marriage only she taken gift. That income is accrued. After marriage, in case of marriage situation, it is not taxable. But before marriage, it is happened. So this section is will not allowed. And one more example. Sai Kumar received 50,000 remuneration from X Company Limited by working of their its managing director. He did not own any share of the company. However, his wife holding 10% of 30% of shares in her name. She's brought them with her own money. Kumar's income is 1 lakh, whereas Mr. Sai Kumar earns other income amounting 50,000 only. So this time, this situation, we have to calculate the taxable income. So what happened? Sai Kumar received 50,000 remuneration from X company, point number 1. So that is different. By working off, there it is a managing direct. So he received salaries. It is very clear. He did not own any shares of the company. And Sai Kumar doesn't have any shares in the company X company. However, his wife holding 30% of share in her name. She brought them with her own money, and Kumar's other income is 1 lakh, where the Mr. Sai Kumar is earned the income of amounting 50,000 only. So this situation is what? This is typical case. Income from the company will be subject to Clubbing of Provision Act. It is not clear Sai Kumar was appointed because of any technical qualification or own experience. Simply, if the Sai Kumar gets that job based on his skill and his talent, the total income is taxable under Sai Kumar only. For example, his wife is the holding 30% of shares. If the wife brought Sai Kumar into the company because of her influence, if he get the job, that time whatever the income is earned by the Sai Kumar, it is going to clubbed with his wife's income. That is rule is there. And in case of clubbing in spouse, here see, it is not clear that appointment because of any technical qualification or experience. The clubbing is done in the hands of that spouse whose income of other than other reference. In this case, Sai Kumar income is higher, therefore amount of 50,000 will be taxed his hands only, because income of his wife is less than his income. See, therefore, clubbing of provision is situation is do not affect the assessment. See, That wife's income is less. Sai Kumar income is more. So we cannot club with his wife income. This situation. This is the case, different case. And next one, in the previous year, 2018-19, Srinivas is a minor, received the income follows. See, this is a minor income. Srinivas is a minor. This income we have to club with his parents. Let us check what happened. Rupees 20,000 interest from the bank respect of the deposit, sum of the 2 lakhs gifted to him over the years by his father. And 5,000 is dividend from the foreign company. Share is gifted his mother. So that time how it is going to be taxable. And 5,000 is interest from the capital of contribution. 25,000 is gifted him by his material of grandfather. State the tax treatment is income of assuming that father or mother each total income is 1,45,000 and 1,65,000 respectively in the previous year. Will make the difference if father or mother is divorced couple. He is maintained the previous year by his father. See, according to section 64, subsection 1A, all incomes arising occurring the minor child will be taxed in the hands of parents only. Already previously we discussed. And there is a one more condition is there. In the parents' income, whoever income is more, we are going to club with them only. If the father income is more, minor income, we are going to club with the minor father. If the mother income is more, we are going to club with the mother. However, income attribute the manual work done by the minor child or any activity involving the application. This situation is we are not going to club with any of them. Already we discussed when we discussed the rule 6, section 64, subsection clause 1, clause A, that time already we discussed it. In the present case, Srinivas has total income 20,000. So this arising him income the previous year. Since the marriage between his parents is substituting his income will be included the total income of mother, total income excluding Srinivas income. So because the greater than total income of his father. Accordingly, we calculated the total income of mother, total income excluding Srinivas income, that is 1,62,000. It means only that mother income. Add Srinivas income, that is total income is 30,000 minus 9,000 because that 9,000 is yeah 9,000, that is 21,000. And under section 10 subsection 32, any income of minor, if we clubbed with the parental income, that income is we are going to exempt some certain amount. If we are exempted, that is 1,500. The total if you exempt total of income is 1,500. 21,000 minor income, my exempted income is 1,500. Total 19,500. It is clubbed with the our mother income only. According to explain that, this already we know that this is the exemption or limit 1,500. Next. So go through once. So this is the story of clubbing of income. So clubbing of income. So now I want to conclude the chapter. Clubbing of income means what? clubbing of income means when we are not able to assessment the individual incomes, that time we are going to club with the other assessees. So what is the situation we are going to take? First one, minor case. Minor income we are going to club with the uh, minor parents. That minor parents also, those whoever income is more, with them we are going to club that. This is point number one. And this case, if the minor earnings are based on his talent and his skill, that time we are not going to club with the parental income. Point number one. Point number two, transfer of any residential property when assessee wives or husbands. So this case is what? If the income is and ownership is enjoyed by the assessee, but formality purpose to reduce the tax burden, when he transferred that property to their wives or husbands, so that situation also it is going to be clubbed with the transferor only. And second case, transfer of assets son's wife. Sometimes assets can transfer to the son's wife with consideration or fair market value. That time it is not going to be clubbed. Simply those who are enjoying that property on them name only, it is going to be chargeable, it is going to be taxable. But without consideration or without any fair market value, if they transferred any asset to the son's wife, that is taxable under the transferee only. So these sections, these are very important. So according to that, we are going to calculate the, according to that, we are going to club the incomes in different and we are going to club the incomes of other assessees. So go through that syllabus. And next topic is see, today I'll explain clubbing of incomes. That is only when we are going to club, what is the sections are there and what is the rules and regulations are there. So that only I discussed. Next class, I will talk about the set-offs and carry forwards. So today, whatever we discussed that, whatever we discussed that, whatever I explained in the class, go through and refer it once. This is very simple and very short topic in your semester, in your subject, income tax 2 subject. Only how to concentrate what are the situations will involve clubbing of incomes. Among these all the situations, income of minor child is very important, and commission, salary, etc. to spouse, that is also very important, and asset transfer to son's wife, that is also very important. Simply just content wise you can learn. Again, I will revise that whatever we discuss in the class. So transfer of income means what? Any income or any income generated properties, if they transferred by the for the purpose of avoiding the tax, so that time we are going to that whatever income is generating by that asset, we are going to clubbing with the main assessee income only. Situation number 1, revocable transfer of asset. When the assets are transferred, either wife or either husband, again call back or withdraw of assets whenever he is required. To avoid the tax purpose, when they transfer, that time that whatever income is generated by that property, it is going to be clubbed with the main assessee only. Second situation, commission, salary, etc. to a spouse or husband also. See, if the company is belongings to husband, and when the husband is given any employment to the his wife, spouse, if the spouse get the job opportunity based on her skill or her qualifications, it is not going to be clubbed. Because of her husband and husband influence, if she get the job, that time whatever amount is received by the spouse or husband, that is going to clubbed with the that main assessee. Next one, income of spouse from the asset transferred, already explained. Income of persons asset transferred. To avoiding these three are same situations, that is income of persons from the asset transferred to the association persons. So any situation, the main, if the purpose of avoiding of tax without consideration transfers, that all are going to be clubbed with the main purpose only. And one more important topic is income of minor child. So already I explained that any income is generated by the minor, that income is clubbed with the minor parents. That minor parents also, whoever income is more, with them they are going to club it. And for that also, there is an exemption 1500 or actual income, whatever list is there, whichever is list is there, that is we are going to exempt. This is the clubbing of income. Go through once. So next class, I'm going to talk about the set-offs and carry forwards. Thank you. Yeah, Trinath. Trinath.
Sir,
Yeah, please, you can ask any doubt.
sir, I am Telugu medium, sir.
Then you have to tell na.
And
మీరు చెప్పాలి కదా నాకు, నేను మిమ్మల్ని ఫస్ట్ పిలిచాను కదా.
మెసేజ్ పెట్టాను సార్.
మెసేజ్ క్లాస్ లో చూస్తాను అబ్బా. ఓకే, నేను తెలుగులో కూడా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తా, విను.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకేనా? రైట్. చెప్పాలి కదా అబ్బా నువ్వు. ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం. విత్ ఇన్ 10 minutes ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఇన్ తెలుగు ఆల్సో. సి, క్లబ్బింగ్ అంటే ఏంటబ్బా? అసెస్సీ యొక్క ఇన్కమ్ ను వేరే వాళ్ళతోని క్లబ్ చేస్తాం అన్నట్టు. సో ఇక్కడ వేరే వాళ్ళతో క్లబ్ ఎప్పుడు చేస్తాం మనం? హలో
సార్.
రెస్పాండ్ కావాలి, నువ్వు రెస్పాండ్ అయితే నీకు తొందర అర్థమవుతుంది. ఓకే రైట్. నేను ఒక 5 minutes నీకు నా చాప్టర్ మొత్తం నేను చెప్పేస్తా నీకు.
సార్.
చూడు, క్లబ్బింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్కమ్.
సార్.
క్లబ్బింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్కమ్ అంటే ఏంటిదంటే ఒకరి ఇన్కమ్ ని ఇంకొకరి ఇన్కమ్ తోని క్లబ్ చేసి ట్యాక్స్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాలన్నట్టు.
ట్యాక్స్ ఓకే సార్.
ఓకేనా? సో ఎప్పుడు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాం? అది సిచ్యువేషన్ ఏంటిది? ఫస్ట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఏంటిదంటే నువ్వు ఎప్పుడైనా ఒక ప్రాపర్టీని వేరే వాళ్ళకి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసి
సార్
మళ్ళీ తీసుకుంటానని నేను ఇప్పుడు నా దగ్గర ఒక బిల్డింగ్ ఉంది, నేను నీకు
సార్
ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తాను.
సార్
జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు నా బిల్డింగ్ ని ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయడం వల్ల నా ప్రాపర్టీ తగ్గుతుంది, నా ట్యాక్స్ తగ్గుతుంది, అవునా?
అవును సార్.
కానీ బిల్డింగ్ ని ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా ఆ బిల్డింగ్ నేనే ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తున్నా, ఓనర్షిప్ ని నేనే ఆ ఇన్కమ్ తీసుకుంటున్నా. సో అప్పుడు ఆ ఇన్కమ్ బిల్డింగ్ నీ పేరు మీద ఉన్నా కూడా బిల్డింగ్ జనరేట్ చేసే ఇన్కమ్ నా పేరు మీద ఉంటుంది అన్నట్టు, నేను ట్యాక్స్ కట్టాలి. అప్పుడు క్లబ్ చేస్తా. ఇప్పుడు ఆ బిల్డింగ్ మీద ఏమైతే ఇన్కమ్ నీకు వస్తుందో నీకు వచ్చిన ఇన్కమ్ నేను ట్యాక్స్ కడతా. అది కమిషన్ సాలరీ ఆఫ్ స్పౌస్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక కంపెనీ పెట్టిన, హలో
సార్ చెప్పండి సార్.
నేను ఒక కంపెనీ రన్నింగ్ చేస్తున్నా.
అవును
నా
సార్.
కంపెనీలో నా వైఫ్ కు నేను జాబ్ ఇచ్చిన, నా
జీతం.
వైఫ్ ఒక్క ముక్కర
ఓకే
కూడా రాదు.
సార్.
కానీ నేను జాబ్ ఇచ్చి నెలకు ₹1,00,000 జాబ్ శాలరీ ఇచ్చినట్టు నేను చూపిస్తున్నా.
సార్
ఆ శాలరీ ఇన్కమ్ ఏమైతుంది? నా వైఫ్, అది నా వైఫ్ ఇన్కమ్ కాదు కదా,
కాదు సార్.
నేను చేయబట్టే ఆమెకు జాబ్ వచ్చింది. సో
అవును సార్.
అప్పుడు ఆ ఇన్కమ్ కూడా నాదో అని క్లబ్ చేస్తా.
సార్
అర్థమైందా?
ఓకే సార్.
ఇంకో సిచ్యువేషన్, ఇన్కమ్ స్పౌస్ టు అదర్ అసెట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్. ఇప్పుడు నా వైఫ్ కు నేనే నా ప్రాపర్టీ ఒక బిల్డింగ్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసిన.
సార్
నా బిల్డింగ్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయితే ఆ బిల్డింగ్ మీద వచ్చే ఇన్కమ్ అంతా ఎవరి పేరు మీద ఉంటుంది? నా వైఫ్ పేరు మీద ఉంటుంది.
సార్
కానీ ఆ ప్రాపర్టీ ఎవరిది?
బర్త్ సార్.
హస్బెండ్ది. సో ఆ టైంలో కూడా ఆ వైఫ్ మీదకి వచ్చిన ఇన్కమ్ అంతా హస్బెండ్ తో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తారు అన్నట్టు.
సార్
అర్థమైందా?
ఓకే సార్.
నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి సిచ్యువేషన్? ఇన్కమ్ టు ఏ పర్సన్ ఫ్రమ్ అసెట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్డ్ ఫర్ ద బెనిఫిట్ ఆఫ్ సన్స్ వైఫ్. ఇప్పుడు నేనున్నా,
అవును సార్.
నా
సార్
నా కొడుకు వాళ్ళ వైఫ్ ఉంది.
అవును సార్.
నా
వాడదు.
నా ప్రాపర్టీని నా కొడుకు వాళ్ళ వైఫ్ కి సంబంధించి, ఇంతకు ముందు ఏమో నా వైఫ్ కు పంపించిన, ఇప్పుడు నా కొడుకు వాళ్ళ వైఫ్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తున్నా.
సార్
అప్పుడు కూడా ఏమైతుందంటే ఆ ఇన్కమ్, ఆ ప్రాపర్టీ మీద వచ్చే ఇన్కమ్ నా పేరు మీదే ఉంటది, నేనే ట్యాక్స్ కట్టాలి.
ఓకే సార్.
ఎందుకంటే నా కొడుకు వైఫ్ కు నేను ఫ్రీగా ఇస్తున్నా కదా.
సార్ అవును సార్.
అది నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటిది? ఇన్కమ్ ఆఫ్ మైనర్ చైల్డ్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనకు జనరల్ గా మనం జబర్దస్త్ షో చూస్తూ ఉంటాం,
అవును సార్. అవును
అలా చిన్న పిల్లలు యాక్టింగ్ చేస్తారు,
అవును సార్.
వాళ్ళకు కూడా ఇన్కమ్ వస్తుంది.
అవును సార్.
కానీ వాళ్ళు ట్యాక్స్ పే చేస్తారా?
చెయ్యరు.
చేయరు. మైనర్స్ కు ట్యాక్స్ పే చేసే యాక్ట్ లేదు,
అవును సార్.
యాక్ట్ ఒప్పుకోదు.
సార్
సో మైనర్ తరపున పేరెంట్స్ ట్యాక్స్ పే చేస్తారు అన్నట్టు.
సార్
ఇప్పుడు పేరెంట్స్ కూడా ఎవరు ట్యాక్స్ పే చేస్తారు? అమ్మ లేదా నాన్న.
గార్డియన్.
ఎవరి ఇన్కమ్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటే వాళ్ళు ఆ మైనర్ చిల్డ్రన్ ఇన్కమ్ ను యాడ్ చేసుకొని వాళ్ళు పే చేస్తారు.
ఓకే సార్.
మైనర్ చైల్డ్ ఇన్కమ్ వీళ్ళు పే చేసినందుకు వీళ్ళకి కూడా ఎగ్జంప్షన్ ఉంటుంది.
సార్
₹1,500 ఎగ్జంప్షన్ ఉంటుంది అండర్ సెక్షన్ 10 సబ్ సెక్షన్ 32 కింద. ప్లస్ ఏదైతే ఇన్కమ్ ఉంటుందో అది ఏది, ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏది 1,500 ఇన్కమా, రెండిట్లో ఏది తక్కువ ఉంటే అది మనము వాళ్ళకి ఎగ్జంప్షన్ ఇస్తాం అన్నట్టు.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే. సో ఈ రోజు నేను మాట్లాడింది ఈ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అసెట్స్ గురించి, ఇన్కమ్ల గురించి. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే సార్.
ఒక్కసారి నీ దగ్గర బుక్ ఉంటే నువ్వు ఓపెన్ చేసి
ఓపెన్
చదువు.
చేశాను
ఇదే స్టోరీ ఉంటది.
సార్.
నీకు డౌట్ ఉంటే నన్ను పర్సనల్ గా కూడా అడగచ్చు. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే
రేపు కూడా ఇప్పుడు నీకు మళ్ళీ నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ కూడా నేనే చెప్తా.
సార్. ఓకే సార్.
రైట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓకే సార్.